very much, and thank you very much for coming out in the rain today. I know that you didn't have anything distracting to do outside, but I do appreciate that you've come in from far and wide across our Blue Mountains just to come and hear us and to meet with fellow concerned citizens. March 15th, 2009, I witnessed a watershed moment in El Salvador. I was a volunteer international observer for the presidential elections. For the first time in 20 years, that country and the Salvadorans were able to see a truly elected government, and after 20 years, they were able to see that their vote counted, and it counted fairly. Why? Why was I there? Because I wanted to help those people be able to realize what comes so freely and so easily to us here in Canada. My goal today is to try to earn your vote as one of 5 choices for councillor. It's a wonderful race to be in when I can stare at fellow candidates and think, this would be great. We could win together and we could work together. I really like that. Sharing with you my reasons for running, the changes I would like to make, and the vision that I hope isn't just mine, but one that we share together, is the reasons that I'll put for you today in order to try to earn that credibility with you. So, why am I running? I was raised on the principle that to be able to vote and to be able to participate in the political process was a sacred right that we have here in Canada that is not available to everyone in the world. My father was a refugee in the Second World War, and as the front closed over Latvia, they ended up being refugees in a camp for 4 years before given the permission to come to Canada. They fled with most of our family left behind, and they weren't able to contact them for decades for fear of what would happen to our family in the then USSR. My mother's family was also in the war, under Nazi control, and even post-war in Germany feared what would happen with the USSR next door when the Hungarian uprising occurred in the 1950s. So I am a product of 2 families that came together and were welcomed by Canada to be able to live freely and to be able to participate in democracy. So for us at home, voting was a family occasion. Ever since I was little, even back in Toronto, I can remember going to the local church and watching my mom or my dad put their tick in that box in that funny little room. And in 2008, I had the privilege of being able to bring my children beside me, James, my son, and Anna, my daughter, so that they could come with me and watch me vote and put a check beside my own name. My daughter's first federal ballot was cast right here in the advance poll at the Thornbury Library. And my son and I continue to go each occasion of voting to the Ravenna Hall and check off our box and hand in our ballot. So that is why I'm running. Because we have this privilege and because we have an opportunity to help create change. Whether we're voting on the ballot or our name is on the ballot, we are all together making that difference. Why? I want to be able to say to my daughter, if you add more women to politics, you can change politics. That's actually documented worldwide. And I want to be able to say to her, when we're together on October 22nd, listening to the results, you know, the previous 4 years, we had 1 out of 7 female councillors on our council. Today, tonight, we have doubled it, maybe even tripled it. And why am I running? Because my son and I live up and my husband, we all live up in Ravenna, not Ravenna, in Egypt, south of Duncan, as you've heard. It's only a 15-minute drive from here, but you would not believe the unreliability of the internet and of our cell phone coverage. I won't say the roads aren't plowed, because they are, because we're on a school bus route, so we always get the early plowing. But for us to be up there and to be frustrated about something or wanting something to change, I want to be able to say to my son, you know what? Let's make sure there is still a rural voice at the council table after October 22nd. So, why I'm running. Next, what kind of changes would I make? Well, I'd like to introduce my platform into 3 planks. I'd like to build a blue that is good for all ages and all stages of life. Secondly, I want to cultivate community and a culture of collaboration. Thirdly, I want to balance growth and encourage growth, but balance it with our rural and our natural heritage. But I'm going to introduce the changes I would like in a little bit of a different format, because I'm used to, from my teacher background, doing evaluation where we talk about what to start, what to stop, but also what to continue. I think that's important to include in the conversations. In fact, what Rosemary said just moments before I came up is proof that there are good things happening here, and they're the result of citizen-led leadership, but they're also the result of good people in the town hall right now. So for example, to build a blue for everyone, one thing that's working well is we have an attainable housing corporation. That's a step in the right direction. And I love the fact that Grey County and the Blue Mountains have come on board with realizing that secondary suites, for example, can provide attainable housing for some people, and can even, for example, help seniors stay in their home by dividing it up and being able to stay in a place that they might have been in for decades. But we need a full continuum of housing. So I'm not afraid to say here in front of all of you that part of my platform is that yes, we need to continue the focus on attainable housing, but we must include affordable housing too. Every income level needs to be represented here, because there are some people here that are struggling. And we wouldn't have such a thriving community organization like the BVO, the Beaver Valley Outreach, if we didn't have such need. So thank you to everybody that participates at BVO and volunteers, and that helps by donating, and events that are organized so that donations can be made. But let's celebrate trying to put them out of business instead. The pilot project for transportation is another good step in the right direction. Really pleased to see that that's finally coming with the coordination of our municipalities and with our county. But what worries me, the part I'd like to change, is the fact that it's a pilot project that's only due to last until the end of December. So imagine you're a young person or any age, and you'd like to be able to apply for and accept a job in the winter season at Blue, but you rely on public transportation. And that says, can I actually take that job and be able to depend on transportation being there January 1st? So what change I would like to see is a continue. A great program, carry on, let's see what else we can do with transportation. Cultivate community and collaboration. Now, one thing that I want to highly praise is the fact that we've shifted to our new website. That is fantastic, because we use that all the time, because not everyone can physically just drop into town hall and look up minutes or look for something, some information. So it's a vital source of information, especially in a rural and urban township such as ours. And what I really liked about it is that it encouraged community participation, because we were invited. Remember when she came to do our presentation here, showed us a new website and said, please come be a beta tester. Come tell us what you think of it so that we can make the changes. That is community collaboration. That's what I'm in favor of. She pulled in an expert in my family, my son, an IT expert, and got his feedback. And he was willing and more than happy to volunteer it. So I actually take issue with people that think that 20-year-olds don't like to volunteer. Because they do. When they feel valued and when they feel like there's a project that they can actually contribute to. But what we need to change on that website is the lack of information that's still there. You can't find minutes beyond not even a full last year. So if you want to look up important information from the Agricultural Committee or from Council, you can't find it. You have to book time to go in person and get them to pull out the physical books for you to look at. So we need to change that. The other real missing part that I find too is the lack of progress reports. I am highly in favor of restoring our sustainable path and making sure that it's no longer called an aspirational document, that we can actually continue to use it in the way it was supposed to be. So there should be checkpoints and progress charts, and they should be shared freely with our citizens so that we can all be on the same page and know where we have to work together to fill in gaps and celebrate what we're doing well. And it's the same thing with the strategic plan of the town as well. In the back of the strategic plan, there's actually a model for progress reports. And when I asked, they said, well, we do make reference to them on the reports, which they do, which is a good step. But is it possible for us just to go and look up the website and say, hey, how far along are we in this plan? I'll see this checklist here and see what needs work. And then we discover that we can't find that information. So that needs to change. Videos of our council meeting is excellent. The fact that you can now actually watch a council meeting without having to be there in person. If it's people who are working and can't make it there, if it's people who cannot or do not wish to come out of house. Is that 10 minutes?
No, that's your 13 minutes. You
okay, okay, no problem. And yet, we don't have a way of seeing recorded votes. If we had more recorded votes, people wouldn't have to watch the videos to watch how the councillors voted. So that needs to change as well. And videos only work when the meetings are open. So for the ratio of closed meetings that we have compared to someplace like Ottawa, that needs to change. We need to have more transparency and accountability to show and demonstrate and communicate what's happening at the council table. My final point is about balancing growth with our rural heritage and our natural environment. So I mentioned the sustainable path already, and that was proof that the community could work together for a vision. So we need to put that back as a guideline rather than just an aspirational document. We are attracting growth from developers. That's not hard for us to do here. And large homes do make good tax bases. But if we mix it with mixed density, we will have an even better tax resource and we'll be able to then put that back in to provide the services and the housing that we want. And the deputations from community groups like Beaver Valley Outreach and the Watershed Trust and the Friends of the Pretty River Valley, that works. But now we're going back on August 27th to support the Friends of the Pretty River Valley again because the process is still not done and they're still not listening to the 1,800 people like myself and many of you who have signed that petition. So, in conclusion, my vision is a sustainable path to build the Blue Mountains for all ages and stages of life. Whether you're full-time or part-time residents, property owners of every income level, long-term locals as well as new locals, community organizations, staff, and the council. A collective vision of everything that we want to see happen for people who live here and come here. And remember those stories at the beginning about why I was running? This is also the reason that I'm running. Because this room is proof that citizen-led empowerment works. This is a group of citizens who came together to find out answers and decided, let's stretch it out and share the information by inviting all these different speakers to come and speak every night. This is democracy in action. So I ask you to consider me for one of your 5 votes for councillor. And I believe that this is the right place because I believe we share a vision. Because I can see that the fact that you're here is that you are all citizens who care about the future. Let's make a choice together on who we vote for. It's not just for the next 4 years, it's for the next 4 generations. So please, together, let's build a blue for everyone. Thank you.